Okay, so we just finished week 13 and I don't know what else to say, man. It's the same things from the same teams every single damn week, but now we're starting to figure out who the actual Super Bowl contenders are and who is just pure fraud. So without further ado, let's get into it. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the Chicago Bears at their finest. This season has been legendary for them, and I pray for all those poor souls that decided to tune into a Thanksgiving Day football game involving the Chicago Bears with no context of the mental torture that was about to follow if they so choose to root for them. I really feel for those people. Early on, the Bears offense was on the field less than Shabuzi was in the first half, but then in the second, they came alive. I don't know what Matt Eberflus did at halftime that motivated Chicago, but I guess it worked. He's just such a good coach, he's able to do that. And the Lions did start to lion a bit, and Caleb Williams just popped off. He had 200 yards, 3 touchdowns, and no picks in the second half. The dude is a monster, and against the Detroit Lions, who played a few solid quarters of football, it was now all up to Caleb Williams. The only thing that could get in the way of a surefire Bears victory was the luxurious, soft, nail-painted hands of the most valuable human in Chicago right now, and he was dialed in. Huge third down pickups, laser throws, and from the 1-yard line, Caleb was on the verge of exposing the Lions defense, but then a sack took the Bears out of range. But it's fine, it happens. Just, oh, they're not calling a timeout? Okay, just hurry up to the ball and throw a quick pass and then use your timeout. Guys, what are you doing? Hurry up to the ball. You gotta go. Whatever, just call a timeout at this point. You don't have time. Oh my God, they're throwing it. They're throwing it. The game is over. The game... What the fuck was that? Let's go over this again, just a little bit slower. Commander Dipshit over here sees there is about 30 seconds left on the clock, and his quarterback has been sacked. His rookie quarterback, might I add. He is inexperienced in these situations. You call a timeout in this position 10 times out of 10. Nothing else should be said. Instead, this goober sits back and watches his team and his job just slip away. I have no defense here. I literally can't think of anything. There is no excuse for this game to end with a timeout still being in your pocket. None. And after this game, they fired him. They fired Matt Eberflus. You will be missed, soldier. You brought an abundance of joy to my life, but not after they wheeled his corpse out on Friday morning for, I don't know, reasons. Just top tier ownership from the McCaskies. Pure class. But it's over now. You may rest now, Bears fans. Ah yes, nothing says Week 13 football like Cooper Rush versus Drew Lock. A perfect traditional late season football environment where absolutely nobody cares about the outcome of this game. Except me, baby! I am a bigger Giants fan than any New York Giants fan in the world this year. I was so hyped for some horse Lock, praying that he could deliver a third win for the Giants somehow, but alas, he could not. The Cowboys defense came to play, and even worse for us, Sexy Dexy got hurt, and they are definitely going to take their time with his return. There is nothing else to say from this game. Both of these teams are playing for absolutely nothing, except for the tank. So, masterful tank job, Brian. With his job pretty much secured for next season, I would think, he's given it his all, and boy is he. You gotta love a snow game late on a Thanksgiving day, right? There's something about this type of environment late at night in Lambeau Field that just gives off good football vibes. And once again, it took me a minute to realize it's not 2015 and I'm not watching Aaron Rodgers play football, but after my nostalgia goggles wore off, I remembered I'm watching a good team play a bad team, and the Dolphins just buried themselves in their own mistakes as they ended up losing this game that they really needed to win to stay alive, but didn't happen, and the Packers basically just rode Josh Jacobs to another commanding victory, and I don't know what else to say. Well, we didn't learn anything about either teams. The Packers are still really good, but aren't just the top of the top in terms of tier 1 teams, and the Dolphins continue to just not be able to play in the cold. I don't know what else to say. That's their biggest weakness.
My Raiders are the worst team in the fucking NFL. It's official.
I'm gonna be honest with you, I didn't even check what time our game was, so I ended up missing like half of the first quarter, which is the sad state that we're in at this point in the season. But when I joined in, it was kind of what I expected. We suck, but I don't know. Something about playing the Chiefs just makes our team fight harder. We try more. We actually make tackles, but the issue is still the same. We have no f***ing talent. Yeah, I mean, we're at the point where I'm excited watching the Sincere McCormick get like 70 yards on the ground. That was our best rushing performance of the year by a lot, but yeah, we just can't compete with the Chiefs. And that one play late in the second where AOC audibled because he saw something, and then Nick Bolton just shifted the entire defense, and when we snapped it, Aiden looked like he just saw God. That really changed the game, and from there, it was all Chiefs. Or was it? We're back, boys. Brock Bowers, I love you. I haven't given him enough slobbering this year, so let me be a Raiders fan for a second. The AFC West is going to have a problem going against this guy in silver and black twice a year for the next 10 years. He is just a mismatch machine. He is cooking every linebacker put on him, and he's literally the best receiving tight end in football with no quarterback play, and he's a rookie. So, you know what? Fuck the tank. I don't care anymore. Let's beat the goddamn Chiefs. Nobody stops the ever-dangerous Amir Abdullah and Trey Tucker. Those are household names in the NFL. And after the defense got another stop, we bought ourselves a chance to do it to the Chiefs in Arrowhead again. And AOC was really playing well, so okay, 15 seconds left. We got nothing to lose. Let's see what we got.
Drops it. Flag is thrown though.
What? What? What the f*** just happened? I'm so confused. They blew the play dead, right? I'm not blind. The Chiefs recovered the fumble after they blew a whistle. They even called a false start. Like, look at this dude. Look at this zebra that emerged from the eastern regions. He called a false start. I'm not stupid, right? I'm pretty sure I know a false start call when I see one. That means the play is dead. But no, after a huddle, they all jacked off to a picture of Mahomes in a circle and called illegal motion. Okay, all right, why not? The Chiefs decline, recover the fumble, and they win the game. So, I don't know, I guess just play through the whistle from now on, because who knows when it can just get reversed at any time. I don't know though, bro. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm completely used to this. This shit used to happen like 8 times a game in Oakland, so this was just another moment. I'm not going to remember it in a few years, but honestly, if we take a step back, this was a perfect scenario. We played hard, we almost beat the Chiefs, and, you know, we still lost. The tank is continuing to go forward. Go Giants, baby! Woo! I've never taken more notes for a singular football game in my life than this one, and I probably never will. I came into this one expecting a sloppy, boring game, but ultimately a Jets win. Instead, I'm going to try my absolute best to do my job and explain to you the horrors I saw from this amalgamation of something resembling a football game. I don't understand how the Seattle keeps getting away with this. This team shouldn't even hear the word playoffs generally associated with their name, but their season is entirely in their own hands. If they can handle business, they will host a playoff game, but I'm sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. I gotta explain how the Seahawks buried themselves in this game early on. So, the Jets jumped out to a 2-possession lead because the Seahawks kept fumbling the ball and then proceeded to allow a kick return for a touchdown as well. So, here we are in the second quarter. Seattle had 3 special teams fumbles and allowed a kickoff return for a touchdown as well. And they won this game! Now, what team? What NFL team do you think is capable of blowing a game like this? Well, the answer to that question is one team, and that team is led by Aaron Rodgers, who is in the midst of being the captain of a historically underperforming Jets team, and I still think he gets too much shit, but he himself had a chance to ice this game so many times. he missed a wide open Garrett Wilson, but whatever, it happens. So just try again, and if that fails, take a field goal.
Seahawks load the line and bring pressure. Rodgers has it picked off by Leonard Williams.
Okay, I see now. I see the vision. The Jets season's already over. You're already bleeding to death, so, I mean, why not just shove a grenade up your ass and swallow a liter of gasoline to just make things funnier? And boy, did the Jets make their collapse a spectacle to behold. After allowing Leonard Williams, of all people, to have a day like, I kid you not, the former Jet had his best game of his entire career on Sunday, the Jets now had their toughest task ahead of them. They needed to out-Seahawk the Seahawks, but they managed to get it done, don't worry. While Seattle couldn't get a yard like 6 separate times and somehow their punter got hurt. How the fuck? Okay, I guess. Sure. The Jets then had so many chances to stop the Seahawks on 4th down, and they did. They got, penalty. Damn it. Okay, well, whatever. They got another chance. Can the Jets ice the game with a stop? Oh my god, another penalty. Okay. This is it. This is the play. 3rd down. Make one tackle. One singular play. There we go. Good stop, boys. Nice work. Nice tackle. Charbonnet punched it in. Rodgers couldn't get it done. And the Seahawks just pulled off arguably the worst win of the entire season. What are you doing, Gino? Why are you, dunking on the Jets afterwards? I know this was pretty much a revenge game, but god damn it, man. You haven't played a good game in a month all the way through, but I don't know what else to say. The Jets are 3-9 and have clinched yet another losing season. That is the longest active streak in the entire NFL of having a losing season. Incredible work. And I think it's poetic that at the same time, Mike Tomlin over there in Pittsburgh has just clinched 18 in a row. So it's just the mediocrity, man. It doesn't stop. It's impressive. It really is. And honestly, I think if they bench Aaron Rodgers for Tyrod Taylor, they will play better. So you might as well just let the old man finish this season out and die out there. Season on the line. Jobs are on the line. Human happiness for the people of Cincinnati is on the line. And you know what the Bengals did? They went out there and played like the Cincinnati Bengals. I don't know what else to say. We've done the same with the Bengals every week. Do you want me to start ranting? Because I can't. I already did. I don't have anything else to say. I simply don't have the energy. This team has been so consistently, historically inept on defense that it is becoming boring. Russell Wilson is still not a good quarterback. I don't care how much Mike Tomlin you have in your ass. The Steelers are not on the same level as the Bills or Lions because of quarterback play almost alone. And they definitely aren't even in the tier 2 range if the defense plays like this. But in this particular game, the Bengals made Russ look like prime Russ. It was kind of beautiful. I still love prime Russell Wilson deep down, and I don't even have the time to go through all the records broken in this game. Most yards in the first half of Russ's career. Most yards in a game he's had since 2017, and second most ever. 3rd highest completion percentage he's had since 2020. 261 yards between the numbers. Most in his career, and more. So it's like, with all this goofiness happening on defense, meanwhile Joe Burrow is doing his thing again, and you still have a losing record when you go for over 30 points this year. And meanwhile, the Raiders haven't even scored 30 in a game. But let's take a step back here. I don't really care how much you love Lou Anarumo, or if one of you likes Zach Taylor out there, I would be shocked, but there's no way to go about it. This is 2 straight disappointing seasons that the excuses just can't keep coming. Someone has to be fired. At least there has to be some change in the front office, or Lou might have to go, Zach Taylor might have to go, who knows. But honestly, I'm expecting them to just run it back. They should not under any circumstances, but I wouldn't be shocked if they sign Justin Simmons or something in the offseason, let T. Higgins walk, and hope that they can run it back and rely on Joe Burrow's talent to carry them to 8 or 9 wins. But I just feel so bad for Joe Burrow, man. We are watching the Bengals just waste a Hall of Famer. It's so sad. So sad.
There were tears that ran down my face, but I did not cry.
I mean, that's crying.
When teams like this assemble and decide to play an American football game, special things happen, and this game delivered. I only wish Brandon Staley was still with us. Rest in power to that great Chargers mind. I still miss him, but his powers were basically injected straight into Kirk Cousins' because I don't know what happened. It's a complete overreaction to call for Michael Penix, but like, Kirk Cousins had his worst game as a Falcon by far. And hell, this was the worst game of his entire career, honestly. He's never thrown for 4 picks and 0 touchdowns in his life until Sunday, which is hilarious because the Falcons defense finally decided to play some football. Justin Herbert and the Chargers offense was really struggling, and it's clear that they really are going to miss J.K. Dobbins until the playoffs. This team needs a playmaker, and as good as Ladd McConkey has been this year, he's not a run-your-offense-through kind of player, and that led to the Chargers going under 200 yards today. They had 187 yards on the day and won the game. It's just, that hasn't happened since 2007 for them. You can't have playoff aspirations, hell, contending aspirations for Atlanta, and come off of a bye week versus a team drowning in injuries, also coming off of a short week and a tough loss, and lose at home. It just can't happen. But yeah, the Falcons lost this game because of Kirk Cousins. Nothing else needs to be said. Get back on your horse though, Captain. Lead your troops and win back their trust next week. It's all you can do. I was actually most excited for this game out of any game this week, because I mean, of course there were games like Eagles-Ravens, which were going to be pure entertainment, but we know those teams are good already. With this game, I was ready to learn something, and I gotta say, both teams impressed me. I'm telling you, dude, I don't think the Vikings are going to make the Super Bowl or anything like that, but they are not going to be a team that goes down easily. Whoever they play in the playoffs, it is going to take 4 quarters of disciplined football to take them out, because this team is just elite, man. They don't make mistakes. Unless we're counting Aaron Jones, because this man did it again. Another fumble. How the does he keep doing this? And that kind of kept going on early. He ended up getting benched, and Sam Darnold was really struggling versus the Cardinals' heavy blitzes. And overall, Arizona's defense was just playing really well. These teams were locked equally for the entire game, basically. But as the game went on, there were 2 differences between the teams. One, the Vikings just have more talent. Justin Jefferson and the defense are just too good at running and all that. And number 2, the penalties. Arizona had 96 yards of penalties in this game. That was the second most they've had all year. And with the majority of those just killing offensive drives, they couldn't keep up. And add on another missed chip shot field goal, and yeah, they made too many mistakes to beat an elite team. And being in a situation like this, down 1 to get a field goal, doesn't seem that bad, but against Minnesota, it is far from ideal. And Jonathan Grenard basically iced the game, Cardinals lose, and the better team won the game. Nothing else needs to be said. But still, this was a heartbreaking loss, but still an encouraging one for the Cardinals. They battled with one of the NFC's best, and you know what? Next week, they put themselves in a position to be right back into the NFC West garbage battle to see who can win that division, because they got Seattle next week. So if they can take them out and ended up, I don't know, close to running the table, the playoffs are still there for Arizona, and I believe them and the Rams have the best shot at winning that division. Welcome to Training Session, the game, as the younglings Drake May and Anthony Richardson go out there, and I think it's fair to say Drake May won this battle pretty convincingly. It took a last-second drive for Anthony Richardson to barely get to 100 passing yards, and meanwhile, Drake May barely threw 6 incompletions, which makes it all the more wild that the Patriots lost this game. The Colts are not a good football team. Drake May played his best game as a pro, and the Patriots still lost. And this game was just weird, though, I'll say that. The pick that Drake May threw wasn't his fault at all. I mean, plays like this just don't happen. And like I said, the Colts had a chance to go down the field and steal this game after a defensive stop, which they did. Anthony Richardson is a large man that can run hard, and after a 2-point conversion, the Colts won the game. But damn, bro, Joey, my man, Joey Sly came like a yard short of a new NFL record. Almost crazy, but yeah, I don't know. Somehow the Colts are still in the playoff race. I thought they were going to be amazing before the season, but that was because I really did believe in Anthony Richardson, and I've already been proven wrong on him, so I don't know what else to say. The Colts might have the honor of getting just fed to the Bills in the wild card if they if they so choose to.
Oh my goodness, Brown is still down.
I quit. I fucking quit. I can't even get mad because the Texans won the game, but they were in a mud scuffle with Mac Jones and the Jaguars for 3 hours. I can't do it anymore, man. The only notable thing from this game was Trevor Lawrence getting decapitated by Al-Shaair on this hit, which, Jags fans did not take kindly to, and yeah, T-Law, just have the surgery, man. Why not? Don't get me wrong, I don't want their tank to plunge ahead, but there is no practical reason for him to play for the rest of the season. Let nature take its course. Doug Peterson will not be employed after the season, and I'm just gonna keep stalling because I don't want to talk about the Texans. I don't know, man. This team is not good, and if they lose to Miami next week, which is a very real possibility with Tua playing out of his mind so far this year after he's come back from his injury, they are in a state of panic. But for now, Joe Mixon is going to keep carrying the offense. They should be praying on their knees to Joe Mixon every week. He is this entire offense. I know they've had injuries at the wideout position, but disappointments everywhere have just been holding this team down. So I can't wait for them to lose by 30 in the divisional round if this keeps up, but if they can get things together, they can still be dangerous. I will still believe in that. Yeah, this is all I wrote down for this game, and I don't think anything needs to be said. For the Commanders, though, this was a win they needed to have decisively, and they got it. Because of how loaded the NFC North is, and with the Eagles doing their thing, the Commanders need to lock up the last wildcard spot and grab every free win they can. So this was a good bounce-back game after whatever the hell last week was versus Dallas. So cool, good win, and Tennessee, please stay the f*** away from my tank. Well, damn. I was expecting to literally not care about this game in the slightest as the Bucs just steamrolled the Panthers, but that didn't happen. For the second week in a row, not only have the Panthers looked semi-competent, but Bryce Young is putting the Panthers in a tough position. Really, really tough. I still think they should take a quarterback, if given a chance, but if they have like the 6th pick in the draft, they might want to just run it back with Bryce Young. I don't know, he looks bottom 15, not bottom 1 anymore, and in this game, he legitimately, at times, looked like the best player on the football field. It's so weird to see this happening, but it is, and with Baker not playing his best football injured, Bryce Young and the Panthers had a chance to go down the field and steal the game, which he did. He found Adam Thielen wide open, and you could practically hear the "Fire Todd Bowles" chants already. But Baker Mayfield still had a chance, and Baker under pressure just gets things done. And we're going to overtime, where the memes just kept flowing. Chase McLaughlin missed a field goal, and the only reason the Bucs didn't already lose this game was because Eddie Pinheiro, at one point the most accurate kicker in NFL history, missed 2 field goals. But don't worry, he's locked in on the sideline practicing his... What the f*** is he doing? Alright, well, whatever. Back to the bullshit. Adam Thielen made a disgusting catch, which meant all the Panthers had to do was take a knee to spot the ball, or maybe run a few plays for some yards, and ice the game to pick up another one.
And they go to Chuba Hubbard. Ball's out! Ripped out by the Bucs! And Diaby is on it!
Football is happening again, everybody. I repeat, football things are happening again. Rachaad White had a huge run to ice it, and a chip shot field goal won it for Tampa, who are also locked into an incompetence battle with Atlanta. What a sport this is. Well, these teams suck. I don't know what else there is to say, but because the NFC West exists, the Rams are very much alive in the playoff picture, like I said. They aren't that bad. And early on, these two teams, the Rams and the Saints, literally did nothing. The Saints were force-feeding Taysom for the memes, and that eventually backfired, and now he's out for the year, and the Rams couldn't do anything on offense meanwhile, but eventually, both teams started to wake up. It took a long time, but for what it's worth, I firmly believe if the Saints stayed healthy, they would be a wildcard team, at least, because Carr is still playing solid football, and he almost stole this game, too. Once again, with Cedric Wilson and Marquez Valdez-Scantling, it took 2 fourth-quarter touchdowns from the Rams to take this game, as well as a 4th down defensive stop. So, I don't know. The Saints aren't good, but they could have been, and the Rams aren't that good, but they kind of have to be. They have an opportunity to at least play in the playoffs, so I don't know, man. It's just, the NFC West is so confusing. That's all I got. I ain't felt like this in a long time. This is so sad. My goat is washed. I can't believe I'm about to say this, and this isn't even the first time I've said it this season, but Justin Tucker has costed the Baltimore Ravens another game. I'm not saying they win this game if he hits those 2 field goals, but it would have been a lot closer, because without those points, this was an Eagles domination. Philly's defense gave Lamar problems all day, and oh God, you know when the Ravens outgain their opponents in literally everything, they're definitely f***ed. And that's what happened in this one. Jalen Hurts and Saquon Barkley are just so dangerous. It turns out when you have 2 MVP candidates in the backfield, that's pretty hard to deal with. And then throw in Goddard, Smith, Brown, and a stupid O-line, as well as a defense that just makes plays. And yeah, this is not a team you want to see hosting a home game in the playoffs. So yeah, this was another massive win for Philly, and they should be ranked no lower than 3 in the NFL power rankings. They are a powerhouse if they can get everything going. And for Baltimore, they continue to just be good. You know, I don't think they're going to be Super Bowl contenders, but they might make the championship game if all goes well for them. So still, these are 2 good teams. One's just a little bit better.
It happened again.
Hey man, all I gotta say is it's been a pleasure. It's been a pleasure to watch this 49ers season go down. I don't understand how it keeps happening, but the Niners have been one of the, if not the, unluckiest team in the NFL this season. It's been poetic, and no other game has been more just Niners-y than this one. They were running all over the Bills in the first half. They were averaging like 9 yards per carry for the first half alone, and we're losing 21-3. That just doesn't happen. But there was just that one moment where both Fred Warner and Christian McCaffrey went into the locker room. I know Fred Warner came back, but it gave off vibes of the emotional climax of this entire season for the Niners. They just don't have their guys. And the reason they're in this horrible position where they need every win they can get to even have a chance at winning the division, because they're definitely not making the wild card with the NFC North being as stacked as it is, it's all because they just lost those games in the early season to the Rams and Cardinals, blowing everything. It's just been a nightmare season for them, and even in this game, there were so many mistakes. Kyle Juszczyk fumbled on the one. Purdy really just looks hurt out there, and yeah, things got so ugly that we saw a Mitchell Trubisky sighting. It was cool. I really enjoyed this game.
Yes, yeah!
May I present to you Jameis Winston, the game. Oh my God, I mean, this is literally just the most Jameis Winston football game that will ever happen. And I'm glad people got to see him on primetime again. I was not expecting this game to be a shootout at all. The Broncos defense is injured, but I still expected them to, do a better job than this. I mean, Jesus Christ, they almost gave up 500 yards to Jameis, but I don't know. They were also in control for most of the game after the first pick six that Jameis threw. Yes, there were multiple if you missed this game, but they ended up battling back because Jerry Jeudy ended up having actually the greatest revenge game by any wide receiver ever, and after Jameis just kept throwing the ball more and more and more and more, the Browns were in it. And now it was up to Jameis Winston to throw another pick six. It's the only way to end a game like this, honestly. It really is Jameis Winston being Jameis Winston. So, I mean, I don't know. For the Browns, this is another loss, but there's worse things that can happen in a football game than just watching Jameis Winston throw the ball damn near 50 times and having some fun. So let's keep the Jameis train going. But before we go, you know what time it is. It's time for the Tubfrog Discord Awards, where I turn to you, the people, to see what you thought were the best plays and players from Week 13. Without further ado, let's begin. Because I asked what the best play was from Week 13, and it ended up going to Amari Cooper's lateral to Josh Allen. Absolutely crazy play, and like everyone's seen, Josh Allen became the first player to get a receiving touchdown, rushing touchdown, and passing touchdown. Pretty crazy stuff. And then I asked what the worst play was from Week 13, and Caleb Williams, I think it's his fault, but who even knows? Matt Eberflus is gone now, and that was just a terrible play by the Bears as a whole. And then I asked what the best game was from Week 13, and we had a lot of different choices. There was some good games this week, but it ended up going to Broncos versus Browns because, I mean, Jameis Winston playing that fun, of course it's going to get the win. And then I asked who the best player was from Week 13, and it ended up going to Jerry Jeudy. Once again, the dude was absolutely incredible. Broncos fans have to be so salty. I mean, we know that he's not going to do this every week, but it was an impressive performance. You got to give him that. And then I asked what the best team performance was from Week 13, and it went to the Bills. And, I mean, they did handle business. They were supposed to win that game, but they just did it in dominant fashion, so it makes sense. And then I asked what the worst team performance was from Week 13, and it went to the 49ers on the flip side of that last one. I mean, yeah, I guess. I think I would still give it to the Falcons because they really played like hot ass, but, you know, the Niners lost some players, and maybe their season is just over. And then I asked what the worst player performance was from Week 13, and Kirk Cousins. There we go. Okay, there's some Falcons representation. Big Kirko was absolutely putrid. That's the worst game of his career, and hopefully it doesn't get worse for him, but I guess we'll see. And then I asked what your favorite type of cheese was, and there were several different options, but it ended up going to mozzarella. So, you know, take that for what you will. Anyways, if you like this video, then subscribe, because I got a lot of videos on the channel just like this one. And if you did like this video, then watch this video I did a few weeks back on the Jacksonville Jaguars. It's pretty good, trust me. And thanks to all my Patrons for pledging $1. It truly does mean a lot. But anyways, until next time.